Hi and welcome to Clint's Workshop again. Now here we are, and today what I want to look at is a problem I've got with a four-way tool post, which is this here. Four-way tool post. So the problem I've got at the moment, I'll just make an adjustment here. As you can see, I'm trying to set up a tool, but this clamp, the clamp arrangement here, is catching on that clamping screw. It's clearing that one, it's catching on that. So I want to clamp it up. I can easily solve the problem by really removing the screw, but it's a bit inconvenient. So I'm trying to get a more permanent solution, if you like. So let's have a look what we can do. I'll show you what I'm going to do this. It'll be this video will be going out whether it's successful or not, but I've not done this particular thing before on this machine, but we're going to have a go at it. So let's see how it goes. So there's the screw. If I take it out like so, I can then clamp it up, but it's no good because if I put a screw back, because it's currently holding, I'm using it to hold a boring tool holder there, so it'll go to there, but if it hits that, so I cannot swivel the 4-station tool post how I want it to be done. So I'm going to take this out again, show you what we're going to do. There. So I can go around with that and move the positions. Okay. We've just got a little problem on this one here, as it happens, but I can get away with that. But this one, I shall look at that. If this one's successful, I shall do the other one. But we're going to do this one first. So I can now clamp this tool holder, 4-way tool post, clamped in position. That's fine. That's where I want it. And looking at this, it seems to me that if I took on here a 1/16 of an inch off there, off that point there, reduced it by 1/16, it should give me ample clearance. Well, let's see. Because it's nearly clearing now. Can you see that? It's just catching on there. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to take it off. And I'm going to hold this in the collet chuck. Now, the previous video I showed you how to mount a collet chuck on the lathe, and for those who missed it, it's interesting to go back to it. I'll give you a reminder about that later. So now I'm going to concentrate on removing a 1/16 of an inch off that face there. For this particular operation, I've selected a hexagonal collet which is mounted in there. I've done that because if you look at this, it's got serrations on. That's to hold a spanner, which is this. So I looked at the circular collet and then realised that the hexagonal one would be much more appropriate because of the serrations. So this is what I've chosen, and here's what we're going to do. offer it up to the collet. I've located the come over here a bit. I've located the spindle lock in there. I'm going to tidy it up there. Okay, so bear with me while I set the machine in motion using the variable speed controller. Got to set it. And there we are, it's going. I have to use that controller to stop and start it when I'm going higher speeds. But I can set it at a slower speed. You'll notice a little bit of wobble on that. I'm going to try to get rid of that wobble, but I'm going to reduce the speed of the controller to about 250 for a start. Yeah, 200, that's 250. The reason I've done that is because I can use this new Hurst type switch to stop and start it, whereas so it's starting and stopping it. Whereas if I didn't do that, I would have to keep going over to there and using that, which is getting in the way of the video. So at the moment it suits my purpose to do that. You'll notice there's a little bit of a wobble on it at the moment, but I can rectify that by using this. And this little device is, if you remember, we refaced the surface of this mallet, and I noticed that it's a little bit out there. So if I just give it a slight tap, it's a bit out again. So when you get used to it, you can just do a slight movement, and then that's okay. Now the thing is, it's not particularly need for it to be absolutely accurate on this, because what I'm doing is I'm facing that side, that face there, and just reducing it. It could have been done before using another chuck. I've not done it, but I think someone else has done it. So that's why that might be not concentric with this. It depends how it was machined in the first place. So I'm just making sure that's tight now. Yep. And now I can come along and machine this. This material will be a steel. It could be a little bit on the hard side. I'm not sure, but it is machinable, and I'm going to speed it up because I need a faster speed to machine it. So here we go. I hope you can see this. Yeah. I think I'll try and get a better view of this from the other side of the machine. So just bear with me while I alter this. So there we are. We've got a better view of it for you. So hopefully you'll be able to see the machining process. So I'm going to switch it on, start machining. Speed's not high enough for me, so I'm going to use a variable speed controller to make higher revolutions. And now I'm about 1000 RPM at the moment. So what I'm going to do is to face this face here, and make a mark about, I want to remove a 1/16 of an inch, so I'll just advance the tool on a 1/16 of an inch. That'll give me a marker. Okay, so I'm marking it at 1/16 of an inch. That's where I want to go to. Now, it's a little bit delicate operation because it's stuck quite a way out. Now, I know that I could machine it faster. Whoa! You see that? I saw it. That's what I just didn't want to happen. I didn't want that to happen, but you can see I said it was a little bit delicate. So it's actually moved. And it's moved because I'm not holding on the best of surfaces, so in the chuck. So what I'm going to do is to try to rectify it. I told you this video is going out live, so it could have flown out of the chuck. It's not very often things like that happen to me, but with it being a new sort of thing I've not done before on this particular problem solving, it does happen. So looking at that, yes. So I've taken too big a cut off, and it's not a big cut I've been putting on, you know, not a huge cut. But I'm going to set it up again and I'll try again. Whoa, tell you, anything goes wrong, folks, you'll see it live here, even though we're not going live. I don't edit my videos, and so what this is a classic example. I'm going to try to rectify this now. Just got some moisture on my hands from oil. Get that off. And now I want to tighten this up real tight. Oh. Let's see what happens now. So I'm back to square one, and I have to rectify it. That's about right. Just a delicate touch, that's all it needs. And because I've done that, I can start machining. But I think what I'm going to do now is something a little bit different. I'm looking at the I'm going to see if I can support it on a centre. So it's spinning okay. I'll just speed it up a little bit. Okay, I'm happy about that. I'm reducing the speed now because I need to be able to control it with the Dewhurst type switchgear. So rather than do that, because it could do it again, but I'm showing you if this sort of thing happens, there's more than one way of doing it. If I did it a little bit more delicately, it could possibly be okay. I'm going to try a different way now. So I'm going to bring the tailstock into position, which I need a little bit of oil on the slideways. Okay. Lubricant. For those of you who have not seen my video on the introduction to the centre lathe, it's well worth having a look at for lubricating slides and things before using it. So I'm going to bring this down here like so. Be careful not to run in the chuck. Run into the chuck with a cutting tool. It's a dead centre on here. You can see there. So I'm going to take this out, and what I'm going to do is to put a centre drill in. Let me find one. Let me see. Oh. This chuck we're going to use to put a centre drill in. Okay, and we only need a small one before you introduce it to the taper. You got to make sure everything's clean. So that's clean, and okay, put that in there. And now I have to find an appropriate centre drill. So just bear with me while I find a centre drill. So now I've selected an appropriate centre drill, quite small because I want to leave as much material on as possible. So here we go. You might ask what I'm doing the centre drill for. It's because I want to support the workpiece with a live centre in the tailstock, and that's what we're going to try to do. It could present other problems. We may have to make some other adjustments, but this is how we start. So there we go. Moved into position. I need to increase the speed. Speed about 1200, 1300, something like that RPM, and see if we can centre drill this. And speed it a bit more. Yes, it's cutting in nicely. I'm doing about 1370 reps per unit at the moment. This machine is specified to do 1400 RPM, so I'm keeping it just below that. You notice I keep clearing the swarf from this centre drill because this is a very small centre drill, and it's very easily done to break the tip. If it breaks the tip, then we're really up the creek. So I'm taking a little bit steady here. The temptation is to rush the job for the video. I'm not going to do that. I've just actually now ejected the whole thing from the tailstock by winding it back too much. Anyway, it's in again, and you'll see I want to get sufficient depth to just start machining in that taper. What I'm going to do now is to add a little bit of lubrication to that point. just to help matters along. Wipe my hands with the oil, and it's also to lubricate and act as a cutting agent as well. Although not ideal, it's good enough for this job. I don't want to put coolant on because it's such a small operation at this stage. This will be quite adequate. But what I'm going to do is to clear the swath from the cutting faces and have a look at it. Yeah, it's coming along nicely. I'm doing it quite delicately. I'm clearing it again. It's essential to do this. I can tell you that if you don't take your time and clear the swath on a small centrifuge like this, it will break and create all sorts of problems. Especially if it breaks into the workpiece. So there we are. It's got to go a little bit deeper, and I'm going to apply a little drop more oil. Just a drop. And there we go. It could do with spinning much faster really, because this material will machine at a higher speed. Now I'm nearly down to the depth of the initial drill size prior to turning on the bevel. I'm going to clear it again. You may think this is not necessary, but I'm telling you it is. Let me see now. We're almost there. We're now beginning to cut onto the angled part of it. I'm going to clear the swath away and maybe add a little drop more oil. Yeah. I've got a little bit of the bevel on there, the taper, which will fit the rotating centre, the live centre, which I'm going to position in just a moment. But I feel I just need to just do it a little bit deeper. Oops. So here we go. Drop more oil on. That's it. Here we go then. Almost there. Okay. That's sufficient. So I'll move that tailstock out of the way. Switch it off. I've now got to remove any trace of swarf, and I don't want any oil in the hole. So because this is a rotating centre, so that's why I'm cleaning that to get it out. So that'll be near enough. So what I'm going to do now is to take the chuck containing the centre, take that out, put it to one side, and here this is a brand new rotating centre, so new I've never used it before, so it's the first time in use. So I've cleaned it. Now we're going to introduce it to the tailstock here. You can see that. Just check that it's well in there. It's a self-ejecting tailstock, this, so well, it should be self-ejecting, but I'll tell you, it's another little problem I've just found. So I've never used this before. It's not ejecting it, but I know I can eject it later. So that's a different story. In the meantime, it's holding in position, and what I'm going to do is to support the workpiece with the centre. Moving it down there into position. One of the problems is I'm going to have to alter the tooling, because this tooling will not allow me to machine that just there, as I said before. So I need to make an adjustment on that one. I could try a different tool. Let me see if I can bring another tool into position. This might be better. I don't know. Not quite. Not quite. And so I need to make some adjustments. So I'm going to go back to the original tool. That's this one. You see the tool, the lever, the clamping lever caught on that screw again. Well, it's a different one. I'll look at that at a later date. So now I'm going to try to move this tool out a bit. See how far I want to go, because the thing is, the tool is catching the tool post is going to catch the I'm just looking at it. It's very close. Yeah. So I'll just try it at this angle. Might be able to get away with it at that, which I don't know. I think we can. So here we go. Tighten it there. Be careful. You have to be careful not to catch the rotating tool. I mean, rotating centres, it's live centre. So we don't want to be catching that. So can only go in so far. And here we are. See that that's fastened in. Here we go. Let's make a start on this. See the centre's rotating now, so that's supporting it. That's locked in position. That's perfect. And I think that measuring that with comparing it here, I would think that's a good, a nice 1/16 of an inch thereabouts. But I'm going to go take a little bit more off. I'm very close to the centre, to the rolling centres. I don't want to touch it. So this is about as far as I can go. With that tool. Okay, so that's as deep as I can go with that particular tool, because if I go any further it will catch the live centre and that won't be good. So I need now to think about this. Okay, so I've thought about this and I've brought another tool, cutting tool, into play. So let's see what we can do. We need to take small cuts. Because if I don't, it could just fly out the chuck again. I'm hoping it won't. Trying to adjust the light so you can see the actual cutting that's. That might be okay. Only a small 10 or 20 thou at a time. It's about 10,000th of an inch deep on the cross slide, which means it takes 20,000th of an inch off in total, because 10 thou on the cross slide means 20 thou reduction in diameter. So here we go, just a little bit at a time. I'm doing it by hand as well, so you don't need any power feeds on these jobs at all. It's not necessary, because you'll get a much better job done if you do it manually. Okay, so we continue doing this until we get rid of the diameter and machine it down to the larger diameter size. So it's just a question of repeating the cuts. Because of the hole that we've drilled in it with the centre drill, we don't have to go the full depth of the to the centre of the diameter, because the hole will just collapse on itself as the tool is approaching the diameter of the drilled hole that the centre drill did with the centre drill. It's getting quite close now. Now, some of you might want to see something spectacular and fire up the truck again, but I'm going to try to make sure that does not happen. And now we're approaching, it's just beginning to collapse now, as we're down to the hole. As you can see, we've got to that stage. Now all we need to do is to just check this. The hole is slightly off centre on this particular thing. It doesn't matter, because if you remember earlier I said that someone else would have machined this, and that's the reason for the discrepancy. But I'm just going to try to face this off a little bit more. Let me check if it's necessary. It may not be necessary. I think it will be. So I'll put this other tool in position. There we go. I'm just going to face this back a bit. Not a lot. So here we go. Nearly touching. There we are, facing it backwards now. Check it out now. Yep, that's nice and flat. And that's about it. So it doesn't need any bevel on that. That'll be quite adequate. So I think that may do the trick. We'll soon find out anyway. Well, let's have a look. We'll take it out of the chuck and see. All right. Let's see now. It's got quite warm going at that speed. So I removed it from there, and let's see what it's like on the tool post for clearance. This is it. Now with a bit of luck that should clear. Oh yes. Oh, what about that? What about that, folks? Just cleared. And I can tighten that with a tool, tighten that up a little bit. I could just feel it touching a bit, but there we go. It's clearing it. So what I'm saying is that's mission accomplished. Mission accomplished, yeah. Well, that shows you what just can go wrong when you're doing unexpected jobs. But also, I'd like you to check out the other video, because there's another item that where using the collet chuck, machining a small component, it fell out. Have a look at it. Check it out now. In the meantime, happy turning. See you next time.